Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's second video, doing JMA Friday for today's second video. So, as always on a Friday, we're having a look at the weather for the pair of Japanese of CFS V2 models, and I shall get on with that for you in a moment. Just to say, back first, video says our 6-7 UK weather forecast, and we've got 10 to 14 there with all other reg features on the way this afternoon. This evening, we've got the ECM at WF42 day forecast for the UK and Ireland coming up. So, a busy day of content today at GavsWeatherVids. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Right, going to start off with the week 1 500 millibar height anomaly from the JMA, from the Arctic and North Pole view down. So this is the North Pole just here. Got the wider Arctic circle around there, kind of. And then mid latitudes is through there, sort of. So, blue is extrapolating to below average heights, which is low pressure, yellow, orange, and red, to above average heights, which is high pressure. These are broken down into week periods. The first week period takes us from today, the 27th of September, through to the 4th of October. So, the next week looks quite cold, or certainly cool, and unsettled, with a trough of below average heights generally to the north and the east of the UK and Ireland, across much of northern Europe, and a ridge is out in the Atlantic. And of course, that's going to send the jet stream southwards a little bit like that. So, looking quite unsettled, definitely, with that trough of low, but potentially quite cold as well. We are on the cold side of the jet stream. Certainly cool anyway. So chilly and unsettled. And we keep that going into week 2 as well. This is before through to the 11th of October. And again, we have the below average heights to the east of the country, a mid-Atlantic ridge extending up towards Greenland. And that will bring the wind in from the north. So that looks, again, quite unsettled due to trough low pressure, but potentially quite chilly, cool, or maybe even cold there, with winds from a northerly direction. And not that much change into weeks 3 and 4 either, to be honest. This would be 11th, 25th of October. And again, got a trough of low in Scandinavia. By the way, this trough will bring cold air and potentially early snowfalls into northern Europe, to Scandinavian and Nordic regions. So those of you watching from like Norway, Sweden, Finland, we do have viewers up there watching us. Hello to all of you. Prepare for an early taste of winter, I think, through this October. It could be quite cold October there. Anyway, trough low pressure Scandinavia, ridge in the Atlantic still, extending up towards Greenland. Between the two, again, the wind is likely to be coming in from a northerly direction, so remaining, if anything, perhaps a bit on the cold side. Right, well, let's have a look at tropical and mid-latitude views. So we can't see Greenland, Iceland, Scandinavia, all those areas of chart up here. But of course, have a look at that view down, so we know what's going on. We're in the top right-hand corner of the chart as you're looking at it. Reminds me of a week 1 500 millibar height anomaly. So if this is going to envisage, but Greenland's going to be up here, kind of, and Iceland as well. No, we know got high pressure up there, and you can see that extending down into North Atlantic as well. At the same time, we're into a trough of low over and to the east of the northeast of the country, and between the two, winds likely to be coming in from a north-northeast direction. So it's a cold average week to come, 27th of September, 4th of October, with below average temperatures predicted there from the JMA. And it is also unsettled as well, as you expect, the trough of low over top of the country, so there's plenty of rain to come. Week 2 is before to be 11th of October. Again, we've got a trough sitting over and to the east and northeast country, a ridge to the west and to the northwest, and again in between the two we get the wind coming in from that northerly northeasterly direction. So it's another cold average week to come, below average temperatures for week 2 as well there. From the 4th to the 11th of October, and as far as precipitation goes, again, it's unsettled, so cold and wet first half to October here with the JMA. And what about weeks 3 and 4? It's the 11th, 25th of October, And again, we've got high pressure above average heights in the Atlantic. They extend up towards Greenland. and you can't really make it out that well, but there's a trough up here over Scandinavia. If you come over to this side of the chart, you just see it there, the trough that's sitting over Scandinavia. So temperature anomalies, they are recovering a little bit for weeks 3 and 4, but only close to average. It is still a bit colder than average, actually, just to our south there. And it's still a little bit on the unsettled side. Ireland's turning drier, but for like the UK, for Britain, actually looking still slightly above average for precipitation. It's a 2-week anomaly, so it might be transitional. So maybe week 3, for example, could still be quite cold and wet, and then week 4 could be perhaps milder and drier. Something like that could be at play within the model. But overall, this is looking like quite a cold October, I have to say, with the JMA. Let's see how CFS compares, though. So again, these are 500 millibar high times, bring down into week periods. The first week period is from the 27th of September to the 3rd of October. Again, the next week we'll have low pressure to the east. High pressure will be out to the west, and we draw down a cold northerly flow. So, perfect agreement between the two models for week 1, unsettled and quite cold. And that goes on to week 2 as well. Good agreement again. It's the 4th to the 10th of October, with a trough of low pressure across the north and west of Europe. A ridge is in the Atlantic and a blocking area of high pressure around Greenland between the two. Again, the wind comes in from the north or a northeasterly direction, cold and wet. And I go through the week 3, which of course is the 11th to the 17th of October. Who's got a birthday there? And it's still unsettled, very unsettled actually, deep trough of low pressure across the UK. We are seeing the blocking moving more towards the Canadian side of Greenland, and so it's turning milder there. Still wet, but turning milder with winds sort of back into more of a westerly type direction as the blocking shifts to the Canadian side of Greenland. And so that leads us into a much milder week 4. It's the 18th to 24th of October. Heights then rising to our south. The trough of low pressure moves towards a more typical position, which is like the North Atlantic, Greenland, Iceland. Still unsettled probably, but certainly a lot milder. Winds back in from the west and from the southwest. So it could be quite an interesting October in that the first half might actually be colder than the second half, which is quite unusual as October is a cooling month. You typically expect it to be, colder in the second half of the month compared to the first half. But sometimes we do things the other way around. The weather doesn't always stick to these set rules that we set for it. So we might see, but the first half of October turns out to be colder. The second half, that'll be interesting. That comes off. Anyway, week 1 temperature anomaly with CFS from the 27th September, 3rd of October is colder than average, not just for UK and Ireland, but but northern and western Europe actually. And the same cold into week 2 as well is the 4th to the 10th of October again, with but widespread below average temperatures. Even into week 3, the 11th, 17th of October, we see colder than average temperatures. Then it's not until week 4, which is the 18th to the 24th of October, that a bit of a recovery in the temperature starts to take place. Only about half a degree to 1 degree above average, but there is definitely like a significant warm-up taking place across most parts of Europe there into the 4th week. That's a long way off, though, I have to say. So, we'll see if that verifies, I guess. And then lastly, precipitation from the CFS. So for week 1, which is the 27th of September, 3rd of October, it's dry but average just to the northwest, but England and Wales in particular coming out wetter than normal. No signal for week 2, which is interesting. I would have thought that would be likely to have above average precipitation. But no signal there. Week 3 looks wet. It's the 11th, 17th of October. Again, we see above average rainfall. And then we more or less, I think, lost the signal by week 4, which is the 18th to 24th of October. But that was pretty wet out in the Atlantic. So if anything, I reckon that probably is quite unsettled, if rather milder or maybe rather warmer week. But we'll see. It's 4 weeks away, so it's not really worth worrying about, I guess. Right, well, that's JMA Friday for this week. Remember, just a snapshot what the two models are showing today, so they could look completely different when I look at them again, JMA Friday next week. But today looks like we could be in for quite a cold October, cold or wet October maybe, with JMA Friday. Right, so the plan is, right, 10 to 14 day coming up for you very shortly, and then happily, you haven't got to wait until tomorrow to see whether the ECM extended model is in agreement with this, the 42-day model. You're going to find out tonight how that's looking for the next 4/6 weeks, and whether it's in agreement with JMA Friday. That'll be coming up probably about 7 p.m. this evening. Okay then, so 10 to 14 day up next, but for JMA Friday this week, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.